I gave that company 17 years of my life. I was there before they had a product, before the investors, before the sleek office with glass walls and kombucha on tap. I helped build the entire engineering department from scratch. When we finally shipped our flagship product, it had my fingerprints on every line of code, every server rack, every architectural decision. So when my boss, Jordan Dale, pulled me into his office with a smirk that didn't quite reach his eyes, I had no idea my time was up. "Ethan," he said, lacing his fingers together, "you've been with us a long time, and that's the thing. We've grown. And with growth comes reevaluation." I nodded, not liking where this was going. "You're our highest paid engineer. Your package is more than double what our newer leads are getting." "That's because I do double the work," I replied, keeping my voice steady. He gave a half-hearted chuckle. Sure, but we're in a different era now. We need lean, we need agile, we need cheaper." And just like that, 17 years collapsed into a pink slip and a mandatory HR escort to the parking garage. Didn't fight it. I didn't beg or bargain. I just left. In the elevator down to the lobby, I thought about the late nights, the canceled vacations, the bugs I personally squashed during emergency rollouts. And then I thought about Jordan, the finance guy turned CEO who didn't know a load balancer from a circuit breaker. Let him have his lean team. Let's see how far they get without institutional knowledge or proper documentation. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was tired. Numb. But that wouldn't last. A week passed. Then 2. I spent time updating my resume, reaching out to old contacts, and sleeping without nightmares about release deadlines. Then the call started. Unknown number. I ignored it. Voicemail. "Ethan, it's Jordan. Look, there's been some issues. Nothing major. But if you could, give me a call back." I didn't. 3 more days. 3 more calls. Each one more desperate. I finally picked up on the 5th. "Ethan, thank God. Listen, we've run into a few problems with the deployment. The new lead, well, she's good, but she's green. We're getting cascade failures we can't isolate. Can you just consult? As a favor? Just for a week. Paid, of course." I smiled, though he couldn't see it. "Sorry, Jordan. I'm booked." Click. While Jordan's house burned, I was busy building something better. A former colleague, Melina Park, had reached out after seeing my LinkedIn update. She'd left the company 2 years earlier and was now CTO of a well-funded AI logistics startup. "I've got seed money, a small team, and a massive gap in engineering leadership," she said. "You interested?" I was. Within days I was back in the trenches, but this time I was leading with purpose, building with a team that respected me, in a company that wanted me for who I was, not what I cost. We moved fast. The first prototype of our core system was stronger than anything I'd worked on in years. 2 months after I was fired, the news broke. My old company had experienced a major customer data leak. Tens of thousands of clients compromised due to a misconfigured update, one I had specifically warned about in a now ignored internal memo. Jordan called again. "Ethan, please. The board is losing their minds. We need you. I'll match your old salary. No, double. You can lead engineering again, however you want. Just come back." I let him talk. I even pretended to consider it. Then I replied, "Jordan, I gave you 17 years. You threw that away because you thought I was too expensive. Now you're learning the real cost." I hung up and blocked his number. 3 months after I left, Melina and I presented our beta product to a round of investors. We secured $12 million in Series A funding, and I wasn't just the head of engineering anymore. I was a co-founder. I left the pitch meeting, my phone buzzed again. A LinkedIn notification. Jordan Dale had viewed my profile. I chuckled. He could keep watching. Because I wasn't going back, I was too expensive for him, but I was priceless to the right people. The day after we secured funding, I received a cryptic email from a former teammate, Raj, one of the few engineers I'd mentored over the years who'd stayed behind. Subject line, You didn't deserve it. Inside was a single line. They're still using your original pipeline without understanding it. It's a ticking time bomb. I stared at the message. Part of me felt vindicated. Another part, maybe the older, more forgiving part, felt a pang of sadness. That company had once been my home. Now it was a shadow, hollowed out by ambition and led by someone who had never written a single line of production code. But I deleted the message. Not my problem anymore. 2 days later, Melina walked into my office with a grin. Guess who wants to license our logistics engine? I blinked. Already? Yep. 3 major retailers, but one of them's really interesting. Titan X. I raised an eyebrow. Wait, Titan X? They were one of our biggest enterprise clients at the old company. Were, she confirmed. Apparently, after the breach, they started shopping around. Word is they're furious. I leaned back, absorbing it. Karma didn't always wear a cape. Sometimes it wore a quarterly review and an RFP request. Set the meeting, I said. Titan X's executive suite was polished to perfection. Chrome finishes, touchscreen tables, and a giant glass wall with a panoramic city view. But I barely noticed any of that, because Jordan was there. He wasn't leading the meeting, just sitting in the back, pale and quiet. The VP of Ops spoke first. Your new platform is everything our current system promised but never delivered. We're ready to switch, but we'll need migration support. No problem, I said smoothly. My team can handle it. Jordan stood. Wait, Ethan, please, this is a misunderstanding. You can't. The VP frowned. Mr. Dale, you're here as an observer only. He sat back down, mouth shut. For once. That night, Raj called again. I think I'm done, he said. There's nothing left here. Jordan's blaming me for the breach. Half the team's gone. HR just restructured the rest. You're always welcome with us, I told him. We're doing something real here. And we're building it, right? I know, he said. I just didn't want to jump ship before the fire alarms went off. You were one of the best parts of that place, I said. Come build something better. He joined a week later and brought 2 other engineers with him. It wasn't revenge that kept me going. It was purpose. But I'd be lying if I said the fall of Jordan's empire didn't bring some satisfaction. One day, a journalist covering tech layoffs reached out. She'd heard about the chaos at the old company and the rise of our startup. She wanted a quote. I said, I gave everything to a company that decided loyalty was a liability. Turns out, that loyalty built the very foundation they're now tripping over. Let it be a lesson. Burn bridges carefully. You might need to cross them again someday. The article went viral. 3 months after the Titan X deal, we held our first major tech conference demo. Investors, media, and tech leads filled the venue. I was backstage reviewing slides when I heard a familiar voice behind me. Ethan. I turned. It was Claire, our old HR director. One of the few from my past life who'd actually tried to defend me during the restructuring. I had to see it for myself, she said, smiling. You built something real. You always had the brains, but now you've got the story. Glad someone remembers it, I said, chuckling. Her expression sobered. Jordan's company was just acquired for pennies. The new leadership is cleaning house. I didn't ask if he was still there. I already knew the answer. Later. That night after the event, Melina and I shared a quiet drink at the rooftop bar of the hotel. Hard to believe, huh? She said. From scrappy idea to this. It still feels unreal, I admitted. Sometimes I wake up thinking I'm late for a status meeting with Jordan. She laughed. Well, you're not. You're the guy who turned his exit into an origin story. I nodded slowly. He tried to humiliate me, but if he hadn't, I wouldn't be here. Funny how that works. We toasted. Past pain, present fire, future freedom. Weeks later, I received an email. No subject, just 2 lines. From Jordan Dale. Message. I made a mistake. I know that now. If there's ever a way back, I'd take it. I stared at it for a long time. I didn't reply. Instead, I clicked Archive and leaned back in my chair. People like Jordan never apologized when it mattered, only when it was too late. Chapter 15. The Legacy We Build. 1 year to the day since I was fired, I stood in front of our new headquarters, twice the size, with a team that had tripled, and a product now used in over a dozen enterprise systems. Young intern, Ben, walked up with wide eyes. "Is it true you built the first version of this thing in a basement?" "Not a basement," I smiled. "Just a spare room and a lot of spite." He laughed, not quite getting it, but that was fine. I didn't need him to. I needed him to build forward, because the legacy I was building now wasn't based on fear or cut corners. It was built on knowledge, trust, and hard-earned experience. And no one was ever going to call me too expensive again.